Hello, everyone. I am Rachel Telfor.
And I'm Michelle Gower.
We are the hosts of a new true crime podcast.
It is called Children of the Void.
The Void refers to children who are missing
and children who have died under mysterious and suspicious circumstances.
Sometimes parents know nothing about what has happened to their child.
And sometimes they seem to know more than they let on.
Like Casey Anthony.
And the John Benet Ramsey case.
We are determined to do our part to find missing children.
And the truth when the story of their disappearance doesn't hold up.
Together, we will blast the shadows with light so that no more children disappear into the void.
Children of the Void debuts in September.
Join us so we can all make a difference.
Please subscribe.
Until then, I'm Rachel Telfor.
And I'm Michelle Gower.
You can catch Children of the Void on Apple, Spotify, YouTube,
and everywhere else you get your podcasts.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Confession Post podcast. I'm Morgan Rector.
And I'm choosing an alias now because, I feel weird saying my name on this for some reason.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go with Von Dark.
Von Dark?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds almost like a vampire name.
Well, it's a shortened version of my model name. I figured, for some things, I'm going to kind of separate it from, what I do.
Yeah. Kind of compartmentalize yourself.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Because I could use my gamer tag, but some people might see that as kind of, I don't know, maybe slightly racist, but it's a Chris Farley nod is what it is.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, because I thought I knew that from the movie Dirty Work.
Yeah.
Is that where she got it? Oh, I guess that is.
Yeah, totally. It was I loved it ever since I heard it, and I was like a teenager or something like that when that shit came out. I was like, that that moment was always my favorite.
Yeah, she was the one who bit off his nose.
And then he ends up marrying her in the end.
Jimmy No Nose, I think his name was.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so this podcast, for people who are tuning in for the first time, is based on a website called confessionpost.com, and it's a place where people write highly personal sentiments, and they can remain anonymous if they choose to, and most of them do. They're usually sentiments that they would find it very difficult to discuss in person, identifying as their true selves. And they have comment sections at the website, and people can comment on it, but we're doing it with a podcast instead. So I think I'll take the first turn this week.
Yeah.
So the title of my first confession is I Just Can't Tell My Husband. So I've been married to Ben for 14 years. When we got married, I told him some things about my past sex life, and he was cool with it, but I couldn't bring myself to tell him about the year I turned 19. I got involved with some people and started doing some things. To make a long story short, that year I fucked over 200 guys.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's over half of the year. So, I mean, if it's one guy in the course of one day, she went on a rampage, I guess. I desperately wanted to tell my fiance before we made serious wedding plans, but I just couldn't. I know it would break his heart. Well, I don't know. I mean, how many women save their virginity for marriage these days who don't live in Saudi Arabia or something like that,
Yeah, it's very rare.
Yeah, and not the 19 is that year when a lot of people start to explore life and themselves. A lot of people go traveling sometimes, like backpacking through Europe. And I guess for this girl, she was anxious to get out of high school and start fucking, I guess.
Oh
She was,
shit.
she was open for business, and business was good apparently.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like I feel she shouldn't tell him. Like, just like how I feel like a guy should not ask the woman he's with if he's the best, that she's been with. I think that's just don't ask, and therefore she can't lie to you or tell the truth. Just be happy with the situation as it is. And men usually don't want to know about women's sexual history, so maybe she should keep it to herself. That's my opinion.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I always make it a habit to like tell people, well, the most important people in my life, like everything about me. I like I started a non-judgment thing like right off the get as soon as I can. Like, I mean, some shit you just don't get around to talking about because like for me, I like to have it like happen organically. Like while we're on the subject, it's like, well, while you're talking about, your sluttiness, I'll give you some stories about my sluttiness and like,
Yeah, yeah.
like whatever. Like like kind of in a way forms some like trust, because they're like kind of like you're getting to know each other too real quick. Like, oh, they're into that. Oh, that's cool. Or like, oh, okay, that's different. Like, you
Yeah,
know?
I guess it depends on him too, because there are guys who are super conservative and they like to live with a delusion that their parents had sex once for each child, and
Oh,
that
fuck no.
and that their
No,
current girlfriend or wife has not
I
spread
will tell
herself.
you this. I remember, like, I remember walking in on my parents.
Oh
It was
yeah,
very awkward. I didn't, because I was like, just like, I was like maybe 11,
11.
right?
My God.
And yeah, like 10, 11, somewhere around there. Like we just moved like to Germany, and we like I guess the way the house was built, like I heard like a lot of squeaking, and I didn't know what the fuck it was. I was like totally like innocent minded, like I think there's a ghost in here.
Daddy's hurting mommy.
No, no, I was like, there's like burst or like knocked on the door real quick, and I burst in like there's some really weird noises, and like I seen like they were on top of each other. I was like, oh, okay. I know exactly what's happening, and
Did you know about sex before that happened?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally,
Oh,
totally.
okay. But so yeah, I guess turned right around and made a beeline for the rest of the.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my God, I just saw that, and you're just mortified. You just, yeah, it's there, it's stuck in your head for life because I can still see it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, maybe it's a good idea for parents to like lock the door when they do that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess so, but I mean, like, yeah, yeah, that's probably a better idea.
And as a side note, what is it about why do animals insist on being there? Like they want to get right up on the bed. I mean, and they know it's good.
Oh yeah,
I think they do.
I know. My cat does that.
I was like in one of my ex-girlfriends, she had this one dog, this basset hound who insisted on sitting there and seemed to be giving me a dirty look too. I didn't seem to be happy about it.
See,
Yeah.
I know exactly what this is like. Okay, my cat would do that to me, but then like my parents have this other cat, and he just stares. He stares at you a lot. Like he's just like, and he like it reminds me of Samuel L. Jackson, that meme where it's just him
Really?
like staring, like with the fucked up hair. He looks real rough, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's that he's giving you like stink eye, but with him, that cat, I swear to God, if he could talk, he would. He has like he's just like involved, like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you thinking? All the time, because it looks like he's like he's thinking, or he wants to like like communicate. He thinks he's people or something. I don't know.
And I think they can smell the sex in the air just like humans can. I think they probably can distinguish the pheromones,
Oh,
other kinds of
yeah.
pheromones. Yeah.
All animals fucking can. Like,
Yeah. Well,
really.
well, that
Yeah.
she didn't think there was anything wrong with the animals being in the bedroom while the sexual encounter was in progress, but uh,
It's a little weird. Like, I usually
yeah,
try to like kick the cat out. Like, I mean,
yeah, I don't blame you. I'm on the same page. I mean, one time she which like her legs were spread and we had just finished up and she had a little like a chihuahua. It went up to her and she didn't see the dog there until it was too late. It licked her there and
oh my God.
she like brought her legs back together. So that was a very and I'm thinking, see, this is why I don't want the animals in here. They're not supposed to participate in this, not as spectators, not as participants.
I mean, dogs seem to be a little bit different than cats. Cats, for the most part, will fuck off, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I
dogs
mean, they want to be in the
are
back.
kind of like, I don't know.
I remember seeing this picture once. It was a wedding photo, and they took them outdoors, and like the married couple, and I think the in-laws were gathered together, and then off to the side, these two dogs are fucking like, because they don't give a shit, right? So there's no consequence to them. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. What's your first confession?
Okay, let's see. Which one do I want to start with? Hang on. Got it open. Hmm. I'm not gonna start with the long one. I'm gonna get warmed up first.
All right.
Okay. Um. I want to expose myself.
Mm.
I want to go online or webcam and masturbate to a bunch of laughing girls or just a single girl in a humiliating way, like making a haggle faces, the squeal and moan like a girl and say stuff like I'm still a complete virgin at 32 and I want to know what it's like to be inside a girl. And even rolling back my penis is what?
Rolling back.
Rolling back so my penis is over my face so I can eat myself
Oh,
when I come. Oh.
wow. Well, I
Oh, they
guess
were
some people do have a humiliation fetish. I guess.
I yes.
Mhm.
Yes, they do. Definitely do.
Well, I'm wondering how he would go about uh, piquing women's interest in this. I guess invite because I know there's one thing if you invite people to roast you, a lot of people are very eager to do it. So
Yeah.
maybe use that word like I'm a virgin and I'm gonna masturbate for you, roast me. So maybe he could get viewers that way.
Mm,
Would you
yeah.
would you like to get in there and roast him and humiliate him?
I'm not really into that. Like, I don't know, I'm too much of an empath and like I care about people's feelings. The
Well,
humiliation thing is always not like it's not been my cup of tea, And I've wondered if I could like do it sort of like see if I was a dom, it'd be like playing a role, right?
yeah,
Like that's not you every day. You can, get into that role and like make some serious coin, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I the degradation part has always been like a hard one because I've had that once, and it was just like I don't know how I feel about this.
Like,
Like
you mean
I
where
didn't really consent to this either. Like
where
you
you
know,
were the recipient, or did you
I
deal?
was the recipient.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like a naughty schoolgirl, but it was like a little bit of degradation type stuff that I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, there's
anyway.
a yeah, I once made the mistake of like asking people to rate me online, and I'm not rate. I didn't say rape. I said rate. And I soon regretted it. I don't remember what anybody said, and I don't want to remember. So
Yeah.
that's a risky thing to do. I wouldn't recommend that.
So yeah, on this same tip, there's actually a rapper called Necro,
Yeah, I
and
know about him.
and he does that on his Instagram.
Really, what he
Yeah,
roasts?
he roasts people like, and he does it video call, right? So you can roast him,
Oh,
like, but a lot of the people that come on there, they're fans. They got like Necro tattoos and stuff, and it's great because he's like, man, I can't fucking roast you, like.
I would love to see what his groupies look like. They must be an interesting
Oh man,
bunch.
there's like so many. It's like different. It's very all over the place. Like there's a uh he
Yeah,
like in the beginning he would convince people to punch themselves in the face.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that was a good one.
well, I produced an episode of Human Monsters about the murder of Victoria. What was her last name? She was murdered here in Ontario. This little girl, I forget her last name, but anyway, the two people who killed her and raped her were big fans of him, and they would listen to his music all the time. And that's one example about where someone took um, music literally. And
Oh yeah.
Victoria, was it Stanford or uh, whatever? I can't remember her last name, but yeah, they drove around listening.
Who was the influencer? The
Necro or Necro.
Oh, Necro.
Yeah, they were huge fans. They'd go around bumping Necro, and
Shit.
they just took it a little too seriously. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like sometimes, like you have that, like there's always crazy people in the world, and they're gonna fucking gravitate to certain things, and kind of inadvertently or maybe advertently, um, drag a name through the mud. You know, a
Well,
name or two, because I mean Marilyn Manson like was Columbine, right? Like,
yeah, yeah.
and
But
like who else? There's like Dimebag Daryl had a like fucking crazy fan. Like I like fully believe that Dimebag stole all the songs, something like that.
yeah, he was probably like schizophrenic or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's a lot of like fanatic like type people, and they just like yeah,
Yeah,
they always drag someone down with them.
yeah. The little girl's name was Tori Stafford, and they kidnapped her and raped her and murdered her and just left her out in the middle of the woods. Yeah, like it was this girl. It wasn't her idea, but her boyfriend was just a total sicko, and so they did that, and it was just horrible. So
Mm.
anyway, on to something a little more, well, slightly more optimistic, I guess. This one kind of really hits home for me personally, anyway. It's titled Skinny Girls. So it goes, I am extremely witty and charming, but I'm also very overweight. I've convinced over 100 girls that were out of my league to go on a single date. Then I lie to them about a fake cancer that keeps me fat and moody. So they feel guilty enough to not leave me for about 9 months on average. I have severe mood swings, which is why I usually lose girls, and which is why I made up the cancer lie. I used to only use it on women, but now I find myself lying to strangers for special treatment. and even bringing it up when it doesn't benefit me. My recent girlfriend found out I did not have cancer after answering a call from my mom on my phone. She seemed pretty suspicious before that, though. I'm afraid I'm addicted to lying now, but who wouldn't be after having sex with beautiful women for a few years? So does the pity fuck thing really work out? Does that do women ever sleep with a guy because they feel sorry for him?
Well, yeah.
Guilt tripping them into bed?
Well, no, I mean, like, there's like, I've never been guilt tripped by somebody else. I've just like thought they were like cool, but they're definitely not like, you know, most people's first, like a lot of nerds, you know?
Yeah.
I guess you could say. Like, this is like the the most like blatant way to put it. And like, I don't know, they're just not like the typical people that someone like me, I guess, would, or no, I would go for them, right? Because I'm like this, but visually, like other people would assume that this is not my type of person. But I, I don't know, I'm very much attracted to all kinds of people and open. So like, I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, me too, yeah.
I have to have a social like interaction in person to really like gauge people, but like
Yeah.
yeah. But like yeah, I don't know.
Well, maybe the reason why they end up sleeping with him or dating him is that I guess there's something about disclosing that kind of fact about yourself that creates almost an instant bond and you feel close to the person. And so I guess they connect because they connected emotionally, even if it was based on a lie. That's why the women felt comfortable enough with him to start sleeping with him.
I guess. I
Yeah.
mean, was it I thought for a second it was a lesbian, but I don't know.
Oh no, it's a guy.
Oh,
But
okay, cool. No,
well,
it's
I
all
mean,
good.
well, weight doesn't seem to be a problem with
No,
the
weight's not a
lesbian.
problem with me. Like, really. I'm one of those people. It's like if you're cool, like you have a fucking cool vibe, like you wouldn't even like that lie would not be necessary, and like they would probably be a little less moody too, just not having to deal with, you know, sort of like um the underlying guilt of it, because like you would feel guilty lying to all those people and like whatever. It's like if you had sort of, a conscience, and like I
Yeah.
think this person does, because they're, kind of stating the fact that they're lying to other people now, and they don't really need, they don't need to do that. Plus, like, they keep saying it, they're gonna get fucking cancer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like
for
if they're really backing it up, selling it, you're gonna get fucking cancer, and then what? Like, you've had cancer for how long? And like,
yeah, right.
and then it really gets you, like, and people are like, what the fuck?
Well, I think the only kind of cancer that you can live with for a very long time, as long as it's not malignant, is brain cancer, because some of it's not operable. Like if they took it out, they damage your brain.
Mm.
If it's benign, then you can live with it. But I don't. It doesn't say. He didn't say what kind of cancer he lied about. So um, I take it he probably didn't say that he had testicular cancer. So because
Yeah,
that would probably be easy to prove or disprove. So
yeah, for sure. Like, someone's gonna call him out, like, or he's getting cancer.
yeah, I remember when Tom Green got testicular cancer. I remember.
Yeah, he made a fucking whole thing about it, and it was
Yeah,
great.
I
Like,
thought it
it
was.
was actually great.
It seemed like he's like the perfect guy to get that. Like out of all the different kinds of cancer he could
I
get.
fucking love that man. I
Yeah,
do. He is a Canadian treasure.
yeah, yeah.
He's
Did you ever?
Canadian treasure. And so, oh my God. And so is, isn't fucking Deadpool, buddy who plays Deadpool.
Is that Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, isn't he Canadian?
I think so. I think he's from BC. Yeah.
Yeah. He's also a fucking Canadian treasure too.
Yeah.
That
I
man.
I remember when Tom Green appeared on the Mike Bullard show one time.
Oh yeah, Mike Bullard. That was a good show.
Yeah.
There's some good shit on there.
He brought he had this garbage bag with him, a black garbage bag, and you know they talked for a bit at first, and then he pulled out what he was carrying in the garbage bag. He pulled it out. It was a dead raccoon, and I mean it was a real dead raccoon. And Mike Bullard ran off the set and puked.
I remember that one.
You saw that one?
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
It was I don't think it was staged.
You just like jogged some of my like, was it like that was a teenage memory.
Yeah, that was
which is awesome. Like I just felt like neurons in the back of my brain like start to reconnect.
Oh yeah, that was like I think that would have been probably like 97 or 98.
Man.
Yeah.
Those are the fucking good old years. Comedy wise, oh my fuck. It was some good, like that shit was lit back then. There's some good comedy. Like Tom Green was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And
I met Mike Bullard actually at a Sobeys.
Nice.
And he's exactly the same way in real life, like poking fun at everybody and laughing about it. Yeah. So, but then his career was destroyed because he was like stalking this chick who's like a newscaster or something. He kept going to her house and wouldn't leave her alone, and I think he hasn't had a career since then.
Shit.
Yeah. All right. So what's your next confession?
All right. So, it's the BBW in a girdle. I love watching my fat wife squeeze into her panty girdle. I love these fat. That's wrong. I love the curvy embracing posts because, like, to me, like, and this actually works off your last one a little bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, just haphazardly.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I find like, you know, personality kind of overrules like aesthetics a lot of the time. Like, yeah, you gotta be like kind of attractive to the person. You know, like there's gotta be like a little bit of a spark there. You know, like, and there's certain aesthetic qualities that are like really pleasing to some. And like, you know, like a lot of the time charisma does fucking smash that, you know, that what is it, superficiality part of it, you know?
Well, I mean, I've known people who are like looks are everything. It's the most important thing to them. Both male and female have encountered that. And what I've observed is that they're lonely for years on end because they're just waiting for this person to come along who looks a very specific way. You know, the color of the hair, and they have to have this kind of body and this and that. And then when they are in relationships, they end up being a train wreck because they're willing to overlook the person's flaws just because they look a certain way. So
yeah, out of all the like the hot people that I've dated, and I feel like I'm like, this is one of the like humble moments, like, because I mean, honestly, I put on makeup and that helps me a lot, but
you don't help.
I mean, I like some people, like I have one person that says I'm cute without makeup, and I'm like, I love that. That's great. It's like they'll always be my bestest friend, like in the whole world. Like they'll always be that, because like they love me for that, and I can be that around them, you know. But like there's some people that I felt like, you are way out of my league, and I can't believe I scored that. And I hit it more than fucking once too, which is like even better. You're like, ooh, this is great. Like, I got something here, you know. Like, I might not think I'm like totally cute, like, or that Barbie dollish kind of chick, or that Megan Fox looking bitch. Like,
Yeah.
like, I'm not like that kind of hot, but like, I can hang.
Well, there's diversity in beauty, right?
Well, yeah.
People are beautiful in different
You
ways.
gotta have personality too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I
Like,
mean,
fuck.
if you're hideous on the inside, that, in my opinion, kind of cancels out what's on the outside. And I've been attracted to people who were not that good looking, but there was something about their personality or their aura that made them attractive. So I've seen both examples of those things, many times.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just like,
Yeah.
there's just sometimes it's just like, oh my God, what happened? The stars aligned and like, what the shit? What did I do to deserve this? I'm just gonna fucking, I am all for it. And you're just like, you go to town.
But at the end of the day, it's all about chemistry. It's like I was asking my,
Yeah, oh totally. And you have to have that like chemistry, you know, chemistry and like shit in common obviously is kind of like the same thing, but there's more to it than that, right? Like, intellectually, like there's like turn-ons with that. There's like, you know, all these little sub-compartments that like if you hit those things just right, it's like cool.
yeah.
But
I went back.
sometimes there's these people that you just look at them and they're like kind of godlike or goddess-like to you, and you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
like you just can't help but be like drooling over them, be like, like I would love to get with you, but you are so out of my league. And then somehow it just happens. And you're like, what? What
Yeah,
is happening? But yeah.
yeah, and you just hope that they don't have the ego to match, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's only been one person that did like wasn't like that. They were like they didn't really have that kind of ego. They were always like really super open with me, and like I really enjoyed that. And yeah, they're man.
Yeah.
It was one of those like fucking magic moments, you know? Yeah, like okay. So I moved to Vancouver.
Hmm.
And literally when I touched down, it turned out that the place I was living at, there was this guy. He was a like statuesque bouncer that looked kind of like Billy Zane a bit, but like it's like a bigger Vin Diesel Billy Zane mix. Like he's hot, like, and I admired him like way, 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 way back. Like fucking, he's from Halifax, whatever.
Hmm.
And he just so happened to be out in BC living in the same fucking place that I was staying at. I just touched down and fucking um there was renovations happening at the shop, so like everybody else that was living there, they're like, we're going back to the shop, and it was just me and him hanging out, and we were watching Afro Samurai, and
Yeah.
fucking shit went down, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like I literally just moved to BC. This is like the best fucking welcome to my city fucking shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one was like the gods were shining on me and everything. It was fucking beautiful. Do you have one? You have a story. You've got to have a story of like
Um,
somebody that you're just like you've been drooling over, or like whatever, and you've finally got like something really satisfying. Like,
well, the difference is that it never worked out. Never happened.
uh,
Just a lot of my friend zone is overpopulated. I'll put it that way.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get
I
it.
was gonna say something else.
Oh,
What was I gonna
sorry.
say? I guess it's gone now. Uh, all right, my next one. Well, the title is prostitute. Uh, I'm a 17-year-old boy who's going to Amsterdam in March and need to know it is bad to lose my virginity to a prostitute there. Any answers would be helpful. Well, first, I have a two-pronged view of this.
Yes.
I think it's kind of funny because I think the best and worst thing that happened to Amsterdam was legal prostitution and pot, because that's all people think about when they go there. And I think
Yeah.
there's more to it. It's a beautiful city. It's got all
Oh
these
man,
canals and
there's so many cool things there. There's like, Amsterdam is just a part of that city.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
like,
it
or the
actually,
red light district. That's actually the red light district is right where like all that stuff is, and then Amsterdam itself is bigger.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
like, I know it's a weird pet peeve to have, especially since I've never even been there, but
I've been
it's just,
there.
well, it annoys me to hear people, I want to go to Amsterdam, man. And I just know it's like, it's just about smoking pot.
Oh yeah. Okay, now listen. So, we like when we went there, I was like too young to do any of that, right? It was my
However,
family. My mom, like, she went on this like when we were living in Greenwood, Nova Scotia. Um, she went on this like bus trip and went through, all these places and like those places because that like because there's time constraints on those like those trips. She didn't get to see it, so she wanted to see it when we ended up moving there. So like, well, not there, it was Germany. So when we went to, was it Holland? Is that where Amsterdam is?
yeah,
Okay.
Netherlands, yeah.
Okay. So I'm like vague on this. Like my Europe knowledge is a little bit it's a little weak, even though I live there and I feel sad about that. But but I was young. Anyway, so um we go through the red light district because she's like, I didn't get a chance to see this, and like we spent like the whole day walking like around, well, not walking around everywhere, but like there's like museums and other places like to hit. We hit like that place hard, and we went through the red light district, and like legit, like when you're walking down, it's down the canal, so there's like two sides to it, and the like every so often there's like a sex shop, and there's like women standing in the windows, and you can smell pot, like, for sure, because because like it's like every now and then there's a cafe too, like it's all kind of just, you know that in that
Yeah.
area, like those three things: sex shop, novelty shop, sex shop. Actually, that's combined. They're actually pretty big. Like there's some big ones, but like they got some cool shit, like fucking giant like tits, like hats that are like obnoxious fucking party
Yeah.
shit. But anyway, no, it's a good time. Like it's cool. It like it's very cool for the frat people because they're just be like, yeah, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But like it's also very historical.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so there's like tons of other shit. Like that, like the whole canal is cobblestone. Like
Yeah.
everywhere over there is cobblestone. And it's really
Gorgeous.
cool. Yeah, it's dope. And the only place in like Canada that resembles it a lot is old Quebec.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
'cause it's the only little piece of fucking Europe that we got.
Oh, I love Quebec City. It is. I'd love to go there at Christmas sometime.
Oh man, we should like, you know what we should do?
Yeah.
Try and get like our podcast people to like, we could do a Christmas thing.
Go to the Ice Hotel, yeah, and
Oh dude, that'd be cool.
meet Bonhomme and all that. Yeah, the Ice Hotel
Yeah.
is interesting. Yeah,
I
it's
have I have a really dope friend out there too. Like she's an artist, and like um she would be really cool on the radio, on a pod. We should do a podcast in one of the ice places or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
We could do it.
yeah. Oh
That
yeah,
might be a cool idea. Like we could just like, it doesn't have to be this year, but we can plan
yeah.
for it.
Well, I mean, I have clip-on mics, and I can hook them up to an iPad, so it's that portable where I can even get decent sound.
Nice.
There you go. Oh no, I just suddenly remembered what I was going to say earlier that
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
so
do it.
you mentioned going to BC. I was just thinking about how it's almost a rite of passage for young Canadians to live in BC briefly and then come back.
Oh, that's
Like
so good though.
almost everybody I've ever known who moved to BC came back. I don't know, like everyone. I don't know if it applies to you, but they all seem to think like, oh, it's going to be so awesome there, and maybe it is, but and
It
maybe it's
is.
Maybe
It
it's the
is.
cost. Is it the cost of the living that brought you
Yeah.
back, or yeah?
Yeah, you really need to like either have a bunch of money saved for like just backup and then like figure out, what the fuck kind of finances you're working with. Because you might need two jobs. You might need like,
Yeah,
like
the rent is
whatever.
ridiculous there. It's just,
Yeah, it can be, but if you have like roommates and stuff, it's not terrible.
well, I mean, like a tiny little like 2 bedroom bungalow costs like $2 million minimum there. It's just pretty crazy. And then I was gonna say another thing too about my current confession about the idea of losing your virginity to a prostitute.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Back to
Because
that.
we talked before about how when you lose your virginity, it's not magical and
Oh man,
mystifying
no.
like we thought it was gonna be. So I figure like, I mean, when I think of when I lost my virginity, it probably would have been just as pleasurable to do it with a prostitute because I wasn't in love with a girl. And at least a prostitute, she'd be really hot and she'd know that some
Oh
tricks.
man,
So
a lot of them just give them, like the girlfriend experience is what they're
yeah,
looking
yeah,
for, man.
that's a cool idea because you get like a lot of things that are connected with a girlfriend with that kind of relationship, but without the nagging and all the unpleasant stuff. And if you
Mm.
don't call her when you're not there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it's just like whatever. Honestly, like there should be no judgment on that sort of deal now, because like really, it's a sex service, and you want to have
Yeah.
sex, right? Like,
Well,
and
yeah,
you know
like
what?
sex
She
workers.
will do whatever you want
Yeah.
fervently and enthusiastically if she's a good one. And, fucking like at least you're getting that instead of let down.
Yeah, sex workers have been like kind of campaigning for equal rights as workers.
Man,
Like,
they are though. Like
yeah.
they've been providing a service since the fucking dawn of time.
Well, there's one woman here in Ontario who's kind of been a leader in that. She's a professional dominatrix, and she's just saying, it's all consensual, and just let us make money at it, and we can pay taxes. And I think our country should legalize it. They should especially have it in Toronto, because this isn't exactly Sin City, but it should be because it's a little
Oh
like,
man, yeah, it's kind of a good place for that. And
oh
so is
yeah,
BC actually.
yeah, legalize prostitution and gambling across the board. You know.
Oh, BC's not legal, but like I don't think it's legal. Maybe it is. I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't know.
uh
Like we don't need. Well, we have escort agencies, and
yeah.
they're able to smoke. They have a smoke screen where no one's entirely sure if it's prostitution, but nobody's stupid enough to think it's not. But I guess
Yeah.
that word escort that was kind of a clever thing to do. Someone we know very well had her own escort agency there in Halifax, and she got away with it for a long time.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's easy to do that. It is. It
Did you
really
know her
is.
back? Did you know her back then?
No, not when she like had that going. I knew her when she was doing the tattoo shop. I was away for like a while.
Yeah.
So I think I was away during that time of her life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like not even like I was gone for 10 years from Nova Scotia. So like I like basically like my pattern of living was it from here to BC to Alberta to Ontario back to Alberta and
Mhm.
then back home, I think. Yeah. And that was over the span of 10 years.
Wow. Did you?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Toronto? And it's
I
okay.
liked it. I
You like?
did. I liked it. Like I was when I lived here, I went to well, back in the day, I mean, I went to a Marilyn Manson concert out in Toronto.
Yeah.
I went to the Golden Age of Contest one, like that.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, I went to that one.
He puts on quite a show, doesn't he?
That one was a good one. I wanted to see Antichrist Superstar though. Like that would have been fucking sick. Like that album front to back is still like my favorite, but
Yeah, I love that one.
yeah. But anyways, I loved it there. The shopping was dope. Like it was easy to get around too. It just
Yeah,
things were like far apart. You know, like once you got to the right areas, like there's a Queen Street further up where all those like kind of like secondhand stores are, and like the whatever, like it's past Much Music. Like
yeah.
anyway, that area, I loved shopping up there. It's so good. Like,
But that area is becoming slowly gentrified. A lot of
oh, is it?
the weirdness, a lot of that's kind of fading away.
Yeah, so like while I was there was a couple of really sweet goth shops that fucking closed,
Yeah.
and I was really sad about that.
Yeah, it's I don't know, there used to be much more counterculture in Toronto. It seems to be dissipating. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just becoming a much more gentrified city. It's turning into Condoville, really. All right. Anyway, what's your next confession?
All right, let's see. Okay, let's go with the really long one. I can't understand why so many people believe in God. I grew up Christian, but I seriously cannot understand how some people or someone can believe that shit when they get older. I don't hate anyone who's religious. I just can't comprehend how the majority of the world population is religious, and at this point, I am too afraid to ask anyone. I understand that a lot of a lot happens on Earth, and on Earth is straight shit, and everyone needs a way to cope. But why believe in a random book is be all and end all? Oh yeah. Well, I believe a book is the be all and end all of humanity. I don't want to fight with anyone and have no problem with people who believe in gods. I just want to learn about what they do. I grew up going to church 3 times a week and went to a Catholic school, but I never truly believed what they were saying. It all sounds like a fairy tale. Nobody could ever explain to me why this dude 2,000 years ago is so fucking important. Nothing makes sense. Everyone is quoting some stupid verses of some magic book to prove something, but I don't get them. I don't get the firm believe in said magic books. If someone reads this and has any answers that would help me understand religious people, please comment. At this point, I just can't understand the world anymore.
Yeah, it's I mean the Bible, it's like everyone lived in a Tolkien novel back then, and yet somehow there's no magical stuff going on now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like, I mean, there's a lot of diseases back then, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, it mentioned, I think in the Book of Revelation that dragons are mentioned, and I mean, it
mm,
even gets into dragons.
you know, there's a part of me that wonders if there were like when I feel like there might have been like some sort of like weird ass versions of what we have for animals.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
I mean, like evolution is totally a thing, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be like dragons though. You know, like it seems a little far-fetched. But there's like Komodo dragons, and people were apparently like I guess a lot smaller
Oh
back
yeah.
then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
in countries. Yes.
hang on. My cat wants to get out.
Yeah.
She she
Demanding.
was sleeping on the chair. Just like 1 second.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, Kitty. Go, go, Kitty, go. I had
Yeah,
to,
like when this
I had to
movie
quickly snack some booze. I ran out of my drink.
oh, you got yourself a, a bar, like a mini bar setup.
Not really just everything I need to make something new.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, you were saying.
Oh yeah, like this movie Barry Lyndon. It was made in the 70s, and it's a period piece. It takes place in like the 1700s, I think, and they actually managed to get a hold of actual outfits that were worn by people back then, but they were too short because
Yeah, they're
everybody
like very
was short.
tiny people.
Oh yeah, like even the men were much shorter back then.
Yeah, and like, have you seen anything about the like giant bones?
Well, I mean, weren't a lot of those found in Africa? I think.
Yeah, yeah, there's that, and like I think like Thailand. There's some because my mom, I think she actually went and seen them. They travel a lot. I don't get to do that with them anymore, but
I
like,
know some I know some skulls have been found where the person must have almost looked like the Coneheads from Conehead movie, like
mm,
the cranium part of the skull was like really long.
didn't they do like some sort of binding or something back then too with the head, or was it just like,
Maybe like I know that well, like there's those women in Africa who wear the rings on their neck and it looks
yeah,
really
if
tall.
you take them off, that's like
Yeah,
fucking
I guess the
treacherous.
head, yeah. Or those I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese, but they crush their toes in these tiny shoes.
Yeah, that's the foot binding.
Yeah, and it can't be undone. I don't think. I think that's
No, no. Like I mean, yeah. Basically, you're punishing and training your body into doing something.
God.
That's a heavy body mod,
Can
technically
you
speaking.
can you imagine how painful that must be at first, like when you're the first couple of years or something? Like I
With the
don't know.
foot binding, well, I don't know. Like I think they start really young,
Yeah.
and like their feet are kind of malleable. I would assume.
Did you
Like
read the book or watch the movie of Memoirs of a Geisha?
yeah, I've watched the movie. I want to actually read the book because the book would probably be way better. But
Yeah,
um,
they do a lot of shit to their bodies, right? To
oh yeah, yeah. They're like basically like beauty is pain. Like there's a lot of that. But
yeah,
they're
well,
also very classically trained though. Like honestly,
oh
I
yeah.
would love to like experience that shit. I would love to like check out that training. I know like not the sleeping thing. Like if they sleep on like some weird ass shit, that I would fucking, I wouldn't be about it, but since I fucking slept in jail, I think I could
Yeah.
probably do it.
So what do they do? How do they sleep?
I think that it was in Memoirs of a Geisha. They had like some weird ass like fucking like it's like a piece of wood that just holds her head up. Like it's not even a
Really?
pillow.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know. Like I can't remember. That one's it's vague, but I remember seeing something and I was like, dude, no.
So this
That
is
would,
so all the whole point of it is like to marry a rich man, right? Is that what it's
yeah,
about? Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I remember I saw one on TV once because they do still exist, and she said, if you become successful, then you can be with me. And I'm thinking, well, what? So I can hang out with a clown with all that goddamn makeup? Like,
Well, it's just not
uh,
always like that, but
yeah,
there are cool ways of doing that, like makeup that, you know. And it's like some parts it's like tradition too, because like there's an opera singer, like there's opera
yeah,
singers that
it's
dress up
true.
like that too. The makeup process is an art.
Oh
Like
yeah, it probably
it's a
takes
whole
years to
art.
master.
Yeah. Like it well, it's brush strokes too. Like there's a certain
Yeah.
motion and whatever.
Well, I mean,
Anyway, we're good
mm,
off topic a little bit. Uh,
well, I like makeup, but maybe that's a little too much for me.
I love makeup. I
Yeah.
do. I can go on and on and on and on and on about makeup.
Like I don't care if it makes the woman look fake or whatever. If it looks done well, so what?
Well, I mean, okay, so there's this whole debate about like, what it's like some of us still wear makeup when it looks like almost a bare face,
Yeah, natural look, yeah.
Because the natural look, like honestly, like I still wear like almost the same exact amount of makeup. It's just different colors, legit. Like I'll put like if I wanted to do quick makeup and low maintenance shit, it'd just be my eyebrows, some mascara, and like all of my concealer, which is like, a fair amount. And you have to put something on your eyelids just to kind of give it a bit of shape. And it'd still be a little bit of eyeliner, but it'd be brown instead. Like you basically just change your whole color palette and you still have a natural look. It just looks fuller, completed, polished, you know. But anyways, we were still like talking about this religion thing, right? Like,
oh yeah. Well, well, there's
so the religious shit, like I get like this. The reason why I chose this is because like I felt some feelings, like he hit on some key fucking things that I totally like. It was like the first time that I thought this shit was bullshit, and it happened at I'd say like pretty young, like 12, 13. Like, no, none of that. That's bullshit. But I used to go to fucking church when I was like, I don't know, like probably like a toddler to like 5, 6, 7, 8-ish, 8 or 9, maybe. So, like, and I like, there's some weird ass shit that happened with me and that stuff. So I like it already like affected me a little weird. It was no priest stuff, but like you know what I mean? Like it was like, a lot of questionable things that, didn't would make you weary about going into a place of God because you're actually not protected like they tell you are. And that's like the first thing. They're like, God loves you. He's protecting you. All this stuff.
No.
And like, nope. No, he's not actually.
Yeah, that you didn't live up to his part of the bargain,
Yeah, you're like, this is a house of God, and he's not. These people are still like, yeah.
Well, the Catholic Church's record of child care is a checkered one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
To say the least,
It's bad. It's bad.
But I gotta say this, if you can convince people not only to worship you, but that they will suffer eternal damnation for not worshiping you.
Yeah.
That's
pretty fucked up.
And to convince men to give up casual sex, you're a fucking genius. I guess
so.
Yeah, because I mean there are these modern day cult leaders who have figured it out. Ultimately, it has a lot to do with finding people who are estranged from their families, they're alone in the world, and then you come say, come join my family. So people need to belong, so that's how they get seduced into it. Because it's hard to have no family, to be alone in the world. That's tough. So that's how they do it, and because people were ultimately less intelligent thousands of years ago, they just didn't question it. So I guess critical.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, do you think like with their smaller bodies, they had smaller brains?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Do you think they used like the same percentage of their brains, or maybe more because like
it must have been less? It must have been less because it's funny because I remember reading recently, science is only like 500 years old. I thought it would be more than that, but
I think that like what we would consider science now was like alchemy and like all kinds of other shit, right? Like that,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was like, it was a little bit different back then. Like there's witch doctors and things like that.
Yeah.
It's close, but it's not It's definitely not what we got right now. You know, like
Well,
science, like to us now is like microorganisms and like all kinds of like other fucking things, bio warfare, and like.
well, well, I mean, I'm an astrologer, but
I love the astrology stuff. I
oh
was like, fucking, you can geek out over the stars out here. That's my
yeah,
favorite part. So if you do move out, and you do move out to, well, when you do, I guess, like, do you have to, like, I'll be able to drive back by then, so I could probably pick you up and show you the fucking stars out here, because
oh awesome.
it's cool. You can see, like, the constellation for, like, Scorpio and Orion. Like, you can see everything, and it looks like almost like there's, like, a strip of, like, stardust across the sky, too. Like,
Yeah,
it's so
you can
pretty.
hardly see them in Toronto because of all the lights, you
I
know.
know, like that's the shitty part. I love the city for like all the things that it has in it and all the like the opportunities, all the concerts, all the things. But nothing fucking compares to the night sky. Like,
Oh no.
it's like that is like there's so much peace out here. But you can always go to the city, get a fucking cheap ass hotel room and have a night, right? Like but
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like
there was
seeing
once
this sorry,
there was
go
once a
ahead.
time when actually every doctor had to be an astrologer. That
That's true.
yeah.
It actually kind of helps things.
Well, I mean, it does. Every sign has certain kinds of health risks or health issues. Like for you as a Leo, it would be your heart. So don't
Yeah.
don't eat too much fried foods or do too much cocaine or whatever.
I
It,
usually don't do that,
oh, that's good.
but
Yeah, that's bad for a lot of things. So
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, no, there's also like if you look at the whole chart too, like there's like the sun sign and the moon sign.
Oh
And
yeah,
those
yeah, that's
like play
important.
into each other a bit because like um the moon sign tends to be like I guess your personality a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just what people see. Like your sun sign is what you're born as.
Well,
But like there's
if I
what
didn't know that Leo was your sun sign, I probably would have guessed you were a Scorpio.
yeah,
Yeah,
Scorpio's my rising. Like that's
yeah,
my
yeah,
moon.
yeah. You got a lot of Scorpio energy for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And like I've noticed this like the some of the Scorpios are just like fucking like they're like sex pots, They're just
Yeah.
like rah, like they have this like sexual energy that's like they're just drawn to.
Oh yeah, totally.
Or
Uh,
like just energy in general. Like,
for sure. Yeah.
but
Re-
anyways,
It's
yeah.
reflected in your modeling. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like definitely, there like those are a lot of pick through photos. Like,
Yeah.
like some of them are just like, yes, like this is like I only post the ones that I absolutely love because I mean I'm biased like that. It's still a Leo. Like, I'm not gonna like. There's sometimes I'll make fun of myself. Like. And post some weird shit because everybody that's important to laugh at yourself. Don't ever take your fucking self seriously. Don't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like you gotta laugh. Like I'll laugh at
Absolutely.
your fucking own mental illnesses and like fucking just be like, man, I got you. Like I fucking whatever. Like it's better that way. That's what I say.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
so
Yeah.
like anyway, but like whenever I post modeling photos, it's rarely something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So my next confession is the title is My Cousin. I honestly didn't know what category to put this under. They do have categories at the website. I guess that is an obvious problem. So my family recently had a gathering. This included some relatives from another state. I met a cousin of mine for the first time. I didn't even know she existed before a few days ago. Now I first saw her without a proper introduction and hoped so much that she wasn't related to me by blood, but as luck would have it, she is. She is pretty cool and really cute, and it turns out she was thinking all the same things about me every step of the way. From hoping we weren't related to still being attracted regardless. We spent the next day at an amusement park, and due to our circumstances, we found ourselves alone almost the whole time. We spent a lot of the time holding hands and making out. We even felt each other up on a dark ride. It was a good time, and we both know that we don't want a serious relationship and are just enjoying our time together. We set up some rules, though. We can't get attached romantically, and we aren't going to be each other's firsts. Also, we are first cousins, but she is the daughter of my mother's half-brother, if that makes it less weird. I don't know, I love doing this with her, but I'm worried for several reasons. Well, first of all, I used to know a woman whose husband had an affair on her with his cousin. Can you imagine? God, it's bad enough to cheat, but to cheat, with one of his own relatives, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
I think a lot of these attractions, I mean, if you...
It happens, man.
Yeah.
Like,
if you've never seen them before in your life and you're like,
Yeah.
24 or something. So...
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wonder about all these attraction things that I have, like, because I mean, Nova Scotia isn't a very big place, right?
Yeah, the
And
gene...
my mom is from here, so
Yeah.
and like her mom franchise, she had like kids from like there's kids everywhere, right? So like
Sure, yeah.
she's got a lot of brothers and sisters, and like some of them have kids, some of them don't, and like anyway. Long story short, I did do that. He was my second cousin.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure how that like worked, but like we didn't know until like it was like a few months ago, and I was like, oh fuck me, like I knew that would happen.
Well,
Nova Scotia, right? Like,
well, the Queen and Prince Philip were, I don't know, they're third cousins, and that might explain why neither of Prince Charles's kids look like him at all. Like William looks like Diana, and Harry looks more like her brother. It's because of there's been a lot of inbreeding in the royal family, and if you have a child with someone who's inbred, they're gonna look like you. So that's because their genes have just been whittled down, But yeah, it certainly, it could definitely happen in Nova Scotia. I remember reading this thing about Iceland. Their gene pool is so limited because it's been like the same people have been living there like forever, and somebody actually invented an app where if you're gonna like meet someone to date them, you can find out if they're related to you because it's such a common thing there. So half their population's inbred. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, we have a little community over here somewhere, the Goalers or whatever.
The Goalers, yes, I did an episode about them.
Yeah. So we got them. And then, like, my mom, I believe she's actually seen them. I don't remember seeing them myself, but, like, I was around. I think we traveled through that area at one point. But, yeah, I don't believe I...
I think there's probably been inbreeding in everybody's genetic history if you go back farther enough. I'm sure.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, I mean, okay, so like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We'll start with that one because I mean, like, that was a regular occurrence, like, really, like, not in like fantasy, blah blah blah, medieval, whatever, right? Like, it was medieval times, like. There's a lot of that, because, I mean, it's like fucking, like, think about it. You're locked up in a fucking castle with all you have is, like, what are the fuck people you've got there? So you're gonna, like, it's gonna get weird. And, like, the Romans, like, it got weird with a lot of things. It happens all through history. We're deprived people, like we're deprived animals, like really when it comes down to it, like there's so much of us that like just resort to the primal instinct shit, and it's like, it's okay, we need more fucking people with plots of land and things so we can run around the yard naked and whatever, because we were supposed to do that, like.
Well, I mean, to go back to the religious thing for a second, there's a reason why incest is is stated in the Bible as being prohibited, they felt they had to do that. Like they had to tell people not to
Yeah,
do it. So it
because
must
it's
have
like
been
this is getting out of hand.
yeah, they got to give people a reason not to do it. So
So just to touch on something, I'm a real big fan of Rick and Morty, and like I noticed in one episode, it was the Stand By Me episode, I think in like fucking one of the later seasons, the third season maybe, and they're throwing things into like basically it's like they thought it was a well, a wishing well, but it was like garbage disposal, whatever. And one of them was like, I wish incest porn would be would be more popular. And I like fucking just about died. Cause like apparently like through the fetish community, through things, rabbit holes, I guess you could say, I have found that there's like a sort of resurgence on that, like brother sister kind of things, like
supposedly, yeah.
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 But it's weird that Rick and Morty would be like they would just like pick up that. It's like, wow, that's oddly specific.
Well, since this is a confession-based podcast, I did check out the subgenre of twincest.
Oh, okay, twins. This seems to be the only exception.
Yeah.
It seems to be the only exception. Like for real. Because I talked to so many dudes about this stuff and they're like identical twins though. And I'm like, well, I mean it like but well, like
Oh, you mean like to have a threesome with twins?
well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you get like I would, I think. I would
Well,
just like I don't know, like that just seems like
do you
you would
remember
have
the
to.
do you remember the Barbie twins? Do you remember the Barbie twins from the 90s? Did
The
you ever?
Barbie twins.
There were these twin girls and they were very hot, blonde, and they kind of became sex symbols. They posed for Playboy, and a lot of guys fantasized about having a threesome with them, and I'm myself among them. But at some point, I thought, wait a minute, if they're both having sex with a guy at the same time, that's incest. Like even if they don't make contact with each other, isn't it incest if you and your sibling are engaged in a sexual?
Well, it's not like you act as like I guess the cord that destroys everything. Because
Yeah.
I mean, one could be like riding like okay, let's say this. Riding reverse cowgirl.
Yeah.
And then the other one is sitting on your face.
Yeah, that
facing
works.
the
Yeah.
wall. What about that? They're
Yeah,
not
that's
looking
not
at each
incest.
other.
No,
They're not looking at each other. They can't even touch each other.
that's true too.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I have a solution to almost everything.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't. But like, I could probably really give it a go.
Yeah, you're flexible. You're
Well, no, I mean not just that. I mean, I think I know loopholes.
well, loopholes. Yeah.
Loopholes.
Well, what about two brothers doing a male female threesome? So do they can
Okay, so you can double jack them off as a female or suck one and still jack that one off, or you can be like one's plowing you and you're hanging off the back of the bed and the other one's like totally deep throating you that way.
yeah.
There's that. Or I mean this one's a little risky. Some people don't really they're not about it because there's gonna be some friction. Technically there's always like you could do vaginal and anal, but that's a membrane. I'm telling you, like the thinnest shit ever. You're gonna feel things that you're probably not comfortable with.
Yeah. So if those guys do double penetration, that's getting a little too risky, right?
Well, double penetration would be like okay, so there's double penetration is that. And then there's a DVDA. Sorry, I got it like mixed up. There's a double vaginal, double anal. That's definitely
Wow.
the like fucking piece de la resistance. You know,
Yeah.
like
Just don't make a habit out of it.
it.
Just don't make a habit out of it because you'll be wearing diapers someday.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah. You ever see the movie Orgasmo?
I have not. Is that a mainstream movie?
It is the makers of South Park,
Oh,
Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Like those guys, they like have two movies where they're like, no, three movies where they're like in it.
So
but
this
the
is
two
live
notable
action movie.
ones- What's that? Yeah, live action.
Yeah.
So the two notable ones are Basketball and Orgasmo. They're like the most fucking, it's 90s humor, but it's so good. They're so different from each other, but they're so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's like, it's cheese. It's so cheese. Like,
Yeah.
but Orgasmo, there's this old lady, she's talking about how like she does DVD and that's all she gets hired for. And she's like, if you don't think that splits you open like a turkey on Thanksgiving, I don't know what you like. It's so good.
Well, the vagina was designed to admit a baby's head. That's a
I
pretty.
know. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, like that's still scary though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
That's
like it's supposed to go like bloop, like right out. And like I just like it's
yeah.
no. I think I'm good at like if I still have fertility in my womb, I'm having a C-section. I'm not doing the push out thing.
Yeah, because I mean, are you really designed for that? I mean, a lot of.
I hope not because like I from what I've like like this is I don't think I am actually built to do that. Like I think
Yeah.
I'm actually very like narrow. So I
Small
don't think
bone,
I don't think it's possible. Like
yeah. You got like like small bones, a small frame, or
I
something.
don't know. Like I'm kind of like I'm built like sort of like a boy, but not really.
Yeah, you're very slim. Yeah.
I'm slim, yeah. I guess like it's sort of like a mix of athletic and I don't know. Like I got legs. I fucking got legs. They're good.
Yes, yes, you're very.
The legs work. You
Yeah.
stick on a pair of heels and they're like they're just like fucking can legs. You just want to fucking anyway.
Right. So what's
I'm
your
telling you. Oh yeah, the next one.
next confession?
Next. Okay, so this one gets weird, but like I have to address it because I'm like sort of animals activist kind of person. But
All right.
I tried strangling a cat. I was young and naive, and I wanted to see if I had the balls to kill something. So when I found a young stray cat, I managed to make it get close enough to me that I could grab it. I did. I was very stupid. I thought the neck would just break if I pressed hard enough, because of course a 12 to 14-year-old would think necks are our only bone. Of course it didn't, and the cat started thrashing around, managing to scratch around my wrist and making me worry if the cut was too deep. So I let it go and headed home. I can still see a little bit of the scar to this day and grew out of that phase. So I'm glad that person grew out of that phase, but what the fuck?
Well, I have mixed feelings because part of me is outraged. I love cats, but
I love cats too. My cat is a awesome fucking cat.
yeah, I saw it. But then on the other hand, I eat meat, and I know that
Oh yeah.
the meat didn't land on my plate from a heart attack. They
No.
slaughter them. So I don't know. Does that make me a hypocrite? I don't know. Because it's a different.
And no, like he's not killing it to eat
Yeah.
it. You know, like at least there's not that, right? Like if he's killing it to eat it, then
Mhm.
yeah, but like he's not doing that. He was just wanted to see he could fucking kill something.
Well, cats can be pretty sadistic with their own prey. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you ever seen a cat with a mouse? Like they'll fuck with it. They'll like put their paw down on it and they'll let it walk a few
Sometimes they
paces.
won't even. Sometimes they won't, like, they'll fuck with it a bit and then like,
Yeah.
well, and the cat fucks off.
Well, they'll make a day of it. They'll just keep doing that
They
for
can, yeah.
give the
Yeah.
mouse a little bit of hope and then grab it again. And but
So
yeah,
we got a cat here that my parents like to let out every now and then. His name is Bear. He's definitely like, he loves food. He will eat anything, like literally almost anything. If it's made of food, he will eat it. So they let him out one day, and this is the first day that they just let him kind of like hang out. And he's just like, he's chilling for like a couple minutes, and then all of a sudden he just darts off. And he comes back, and he's got a little mouse in his mouth, and he's just like, do 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 do. Like, he's like the proudest fucking thing. He killed it too. Like,
oh yeah.
he was just like so happy. He's like, look, he was like, I just got this, and like, it was like a matter of seconds. He just took off and fucking like came back with shit. But they say that cats they do that because they don't think we're eating well enough or whatever.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Or maybe like for him, he's a fatso, so he would totally like just be like, I got this is mine, like I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's tied in with self-worth as well. Like they're saying,
Yeah, oh
I'm
totally.
a good hunter, yeah. Because, in Egypt, that was their function, to kill mice in the temples or whatever, the pyramids. And so they play, because, I mean, rodents can actually bring diseases and viruses and things around. And, like, I think rats were responsible for the Black Plague. So, yeah, cats came to be valued for that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So my last one is entitled, My Boyfriend is Grieving the Death of His Ex 4 years later. My boyfriend's ex died a few years before we met. We've been together for 13 months. His ex was killed by a drunk driver when they were still dating, and I think he's still grieving for her 4 years later. He talks about her a lot. He'll show me cute pictures of him and her on his phone a lot. When he cooks, he talks about how much she liked whatever we're eating. Once during sex, he said her name, and she loved it when I did this. Even though I loved it too, he was talking about her during sex with me. He got really mad at me when I kept telling him that he should take a framed picture of the two of them in Iceland off from his wall because he needs to move on. I feel horrible for him. He clearly loves her more than me. He didn't deserve to lose her. He told me that he lost his virginity to her and only had sex once between her dying and becoming sexually active with me. I have a key to his apartment, and once I walked in and he was sitting in a chair just staring at a picture of them next to a Christmas tree. He clearly loves her more than me, but I don't take it personally. So, I mean, I understand why he's grieving because he didn't break up with the girl. She died, but I think it's pretty inconsiderate when you're in a new relationship to constantly talk about your ex and dwell on.
Yeah. I mean, how long has it been?
Yeah, he said that but it was 4 years after after the woman died, and
Okay, so like he still brings it up.
oh yeah,
After 4 years.
still holding a candle for her, and like they've been together.
Yeah, no, that's like, I mean, that's awesome. Like, you know what? Like when you like love somebody like that, you kind of have to do that like between you and them. You
Yeah.
know, like that's a like you and their spirit kind of deal. Not like like you don't force somebody to like love somebody they never knew or try to like wrap their head around your routine with that. Like that's not part of that shouldn't be part of their relationship.
Oh no.
Because like it's a separate deal.
Yeah, my cousin married a guy whose ex-wife had died, and he gave her a bunch of her jewelry, and she didn't say anything, but she didn't like that, and she gave.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely like see. I would have to say something about that and be like, look, this is something you should probably hang on to, or just pack it away,
Yeah, just
and you can figure out what you want to do with it.
yeah, put it in a shoebox somewhere.
You know, like this is not something you need to just like, you know, give away because yeah, man, like what if it like what if that thing didn't work out between them?
Well, he needs to like see a grief counselor, or maybe someone
Oh
else,
yeah.
or maybe like a relative or a friend who's willing to just give him a chance to get all that stuff off his chest, to deal with it,
Yeah.
because
Or
it's
even somebody that loved her too, like in a way, like that it was
yeah,
close to her, like that might be a little bit cathartic, like in a
yeah, one of
good
her parents,
way.
yeah, like one of her parents or something, you
Or
know.
like a close friend, like anything that was like, you know, that could kind of fill in some things and help the grieving process. Because like sometimes you just like, you know, you may have spent the best time of your life with that person, but like there's like things that, you know, after like somebody passes, it's good to hear because it's like soothing. It's just like it's like one of those things. It's like I needed to hear this right now, you know, and it
Yeah,
helps you kind of get over like these little humps that life presents you, which is
yeah.
getting over stuff. Grief is really hard. It's so hard. Like
Maybe he wasn't
there's no there's no timestamp
ready,
on it.
he wasn't ready for a relationship. 'Cause
No, he probably dove into it really quick because he was
yeah,
just scared of being alone.
yeah, because the person you're with presently is supposed to be number one in that area of your life. But I mean, he's talking about his ex while they're having sex.
Oh God,
That's
no.
not
Yeah.
good.
Awkward. So awkward. So
Yeah,
awkward.
yeah. So I think he's kind of at fault there. I mean, the grief may never go away, but he's got to understand that he can't make his current girlfriend play second fiddle forever, especially
Yeah.
especially considering that the dead woman's playing is in the lead. So yeah, all right. So what's your last one?
Okay, let's see here. What was my last one? I saved too many.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
choose the most interesting
Yeah.
one, I guess. Yeah.
No, I was like, okay, what like I had two oh yeah. No, no, I already did. Okay. Um, okay, so running into your ex-girlfriend. This one's a little like it's a little bit like I feel not as explicit as the rest of the ones that we were talking about. Running into your ex-girlfriend and then walking away without saying anything. I dated a girl for 3 years too long. The relationship was going nowhere. The final time I asked her out, I asked her to a movie. She said no. I asked her about a drive to the park and she said no. I asked her to suggest something and she said no, it was up to me. I had suggested everything within my ability for us to do together. She refused. I told her I would call her back when I thought of something to do. I never called her again. One day, when I was at the mall with a friend, I ran into her. It happened twice, in fact. She was standing off to the side with a strange smile on her face. I walked by her and I said nothing to her. The friend I was with asked, "Is that Jay, whatever?" I said, "Yes, keep going." I hope she heard me say that.
Hmm.
I have a feeling this person was kind of like young,
Yeah, is he
possibly.
playing hard to get, or what do you think he's
Well,
doing?
he said he's been like in dating this person for 3 years. So I don't know,
Oh,
like I'm not sure about the terms these days. If dating is like a serious relationship, that's not my girlfriend. So like
yeah.
dating, I guess like dating them off and on, like dating, taking them out. Like, did you like? Is that just like trying to hang out
Well, I
and
know,
not.
yeah, I know that, like, in terms of, like, going out to dinner and bringing flowers and chocolates and all that stuff.
Yeah,
That,
like I mean that's
yeah,
like no,
that's almost kind of passe, isn't it?
it is. It's
Yeah.
passe, but I wouldn't mind that. It'd be like, yo, let's eat these chocolates. Like
Well, a lot
I
of
couldn't
people.
help but fucking like seriously like share that shit because like goddamn, I'd love some chocolates.
Well, I mean,
Flowers, I'm okay with, but like I prefer like chocolates because it's food, it's
yeah,
sustenance. The edible arrangements, those are dope because you could eat them too. I'm more food oriented than like visual with flower thing because they die.
yeah, they do. Yeah.
You
Well, I mean,
know.
I wonder if maybe she's like codependent or smothering or something. Maybe he needs a break. Maybe
Mm.
she's, gotten to the point where she's too clingy and he just wants to air the relationship out a little bit. You know.
Oh, maybe. Well, like he said, it's dated a girl for 3 years too long,
Yeah. So
and the relationship's not going anywhere. So like, what like I'm not sure if what anywhere is. Like, what's his destination?
well, I remember reading this thing. It was like a list of reasons that it may be time to break up, and one of them was every time your significant other calls you, you sigh. You're like, oh God. Like, and there may not even necessarily be any drama going on, but it just gets to the point where you're sick and tired of hearing from them, or sick and tired of just how predictable they've become, or something like that. So maybe he's just at that point. He's just got to break up with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some
Yeah,
people.
no, it's like I don't know. Like I wish there was like a little bit more information in here because it's like,
Yeah.
maybe he's not having sex yet. It sounds like that. Like it's not getting anywhere. Like what's anywhere? Like does he want it serious? Does he want sex? Does he like is he just not like
Well, he must not love her at all, because if you would
well,
if you would dust someone off like that,
yeah.
there can't be much of an emotional connection there.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people they're kind of shallow in that respect where it's like, well, I mean, it's a mix of either like just knowing that this person isn't 100% gelling with you, or expecting too much from a person that whatever. Like it could be a number of things, right? Because like maybe she wasn't totally receptive to begin with. And he's just like, well, I've been like trying for things for 3 years. And, like,
Yeah.
well, why did you put so much fucking time into something that wasn't working? Like, what's up
Yeah.
with that? And
I
like,
guess.
I don't know, after about like two, I don't know, like I give people a lot of room, and I feel like 3 months or whatever is a lot of room for something like that. If it's not going anywhere in 3 months, I'm out. Like, I don't know, like
See,
I
they
feel
must.
like that's a long time, but I have ADD brain, so like my fucking time frame is all fucked up anyway.
So maybe she was just like a long-term booty call.
Maybe.
Like she was, like, he could get laid and he'd listen to her talk, and that was kind of his end of the bargain. And then, but otherwise, maybe he just didn't want to spend that much time with her. So I know that kind of
Yeah.
thing happens. It's
Yeah, yeah.
like Sharon Stone once said, women can fake orgasms, but men can fake whole relationships.
Oh, totally.
So
Yeah,
maybe that's what he's been doing. He's just like acting like he's her boyfriend, but
I
he's,
guess, yeah.
yeah, but
That's a good point.
and then secretly maybe he's doing that with like three other chicks.
Yeah, because like this is just like, you know, one chick. God knows, like, there's so many, like, okay, not to like be all like, it's not sexist or whatever, but like, guys have been known, I mean, it's scientifically proven that guys can basically like make so many fucking kids because basically
Yeah.
they just go fucking impregnate as many people as they possibly can.
Yeah.
But a woman can only do like a 9-month gestation.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like we are actually like in terms of like because I feel like popping out families like that, that's really slutty, right? That's slutty.
Yeah. Setting up
But like,
franchises.
you
Yeah.
know, like yeah, I call it franchising. It's
Yeah.
fucking McDonald's, Tim Hortons, all this shit.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And that's why in Nova Scotia, you almost have to get that app that you were talking about because for real, there's people that are related out here and you don't even know. Like
Well,
it's been legitimate fears of like my friends' parents and shit.
well, you know,
Like,
there are like huge people who have the same surname, like in Nova Scotia. It's like Rector, actually. That's pretty common down there. And then there's
I
McDonald.
thought I thought your name was totally like a stage name.
No, that's my real
It's
last name.
dope. I like it. I
Oh,
like it.
thanks.
It's got a good ring.
Oh,
I
thank
feel
you.
like mine is too like English and weird. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's very English.
I don't feel right talking about it on such a, like a it's not like a sleazy platform, but a promiscuous platform with using my real name.
Yeah. There must be like a million people down there named McDonald. Like that.
Oh, there's McDonald's, McLean's,
Mackenzie. Yeah.
McKinnis,
Mhm. Yeah.
fucking McGillivray.
Yeah. Make
Uh,
this, make that. Yeah.
yeah, there's lots of McNeil. Fucking, there's tons. There's tons.
Oh yeah.
Tons. Ours is British, or not, well, Dad's from BC, so like, you know, that's his last name.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've got the whole UK covered, and I'm
Yeah,
3%.
man, me too. Like my dad's side's all UK.
Yeah, I've got 3% Norwegian, 2% Germanic European, which
Yeah,
is
we're fucking
yeah.
white as fuck.
Oh
Is what
yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
But we're like fucking mutts. That's the cool thing. It's like no one's like pure anything anymore.
I tell you,
Which
one
is
of my
dope.
sisters is one of the fathers of Confederation.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
that's how Canadian I am. So
Yeah.
I got those roots. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, mine's like kind of like we're on my mom's side. My great grandfather was a rum runner.
Oh yeah,
We
that's
got that. And the one that like came over, like her great ancestor, I guess, is like he was a groundskeeper for a like a duke or whatever, like, and he ran off with a daughter.
oh
And they
nice.
had a bunch of kids, like a bunch, and they ended up in like Cape Breton, I think. And she got to see like basically like these candlestick holders, like that she brought over,
Hmm.
and it was from like she was from a fairly well-to-do family, and he wasn't like crazy well-to-do, but he could do some things. He pumped her full of babies and built her a house, but one of the things that like was written down, she's like, I'm not going to be able to see this house. Like it was like a morbid thing that she said, and she actually died before that house was finished. But so it was like one of those weird like ooh moments, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But mom like has been doing this ancestry shit like crazy. She's been digging up so much stuff. It's really cool. We had a great aunt with one arm, and she dated a guy from a sideshow that ate light bulbs, I think. Something
Hey,
like
light
that.
bulbs. Yeah.
He ate light bulbs, yeah. We
Damn.
had a colorful fucking family.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day if I were to get married and if I had the money, I'd have like a total. I wouldn't do a conventional wedding at all.
Oh fuck no, me
Maybe the
neither.
Jim Rose Circus would perform.
Oh man, that'd be sick. You
Yeah.
do like that. There's like out Las Vegas way, isn't it? Or like, are they New York?
I don't know, but they do travel. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Las Vegas would be cool. You could fucking use the desert and get like something
yeah.
cool.
Get married in the desert where all the
Or
mob
like,
the
and
mob
like,
buried their victims.
oh yes, yeah, totally. There's a Stephen King novel or a short story about that was really cool. Like basically Buddy needed to catch somebody and he like dug this fucking part in the highway, like the exact fucking dimensions of the car that Buddy was gonna be driving. And like it fell right in and he like fucking just covered it in cement and whatever. Fucking wicked story.
Yeah, I'm sure. Was that Christine or
No, I think it was in shit. There was a short story book. Dreamscapes. Wait.
Nightmares and Dreamscapes?
Yeah, that one. I think it was in that one. And like they did a adaptation, like a TV one, I think, a TV movie one. And I didn't get to like watch it. Like every time I went to watch it, I just fucking fell asleep. Right? It fucking sucked.
Most of the TV adaptations of Stephen King books are not.
Oh, The Stand.
Yeah.
The
You like
Stand
that?
is so long.
Yeah, I read the book. I didn't care for it. I didn't. So many people love that book. I didn't.
I really like Nightmares and Dreamscapes. He's like a short story person, and there's some weird shit in there. The finger was weird.
Yeah. See, I find his shorter books tend to be better. Like Gerald's Game, I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
The movie was also pretty good. That's on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, man. Fucking he did AA meetings like
Yeah.
That show was cool. And Mom was saying like he basically like most of his ideas come from dreams.
Yeah. Well, one thing was in the 80s, he was addicted to cocaine really bad. Like at one point he was
drinking.
At one point he had to have like wads of Kleenex in his nostrils to prevent them from bleeding all over the typewriter.
Oh,
that's
my
how bad
God.
it was. And he says like he has no memory of writing Cujo because he was doing coke all the time. So yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, see, David Bowie said something like that. He said he couldn't remember the year 1975 because back then that's when he was like super into cocaine and.
Yeah, and they would have a bomb ass shit back then.
Yeah, well, he had the money, so he could snort cocaine day and night. So.
Yep. People just give it to him because he's David Bowie.
Yeah. He lived on cocaine and milk. He thought if I drink milk, then I won't totally die from malnutrition. But that was it. Well, on that note, I think we blew through all our confessions, haven't we?
Yeah, we did. We did.
All right, my dear. Well, thank you very much for doing the show with me again this week.
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure.
It is, yes. All right. Have yourself a good night now.
All right, you too.
Yeah, take care. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.